This must be sort of bittersweet for you. This is your second visit to the space station, and you'll be leaving shortly. What kind of memories will you be taking back with you?
Well, Gina, it's great to hear your voice, and we have a I'm going to have a great memory of this trip. Yuri and I came up about 6 months ago along with spaceflight participant, private astronaut Richard Garriott. Greg Shamatov was on board. We quickly became Expedition 18. Soon the shuttle came up, and then the real work really started to happen. We reconfigured the space station for 6 people. Sandra Magnus was here, and now we have Koichi, and it's been so incredibly fast. But you're right, it's bittersweet. I can't wait to see my wife, beautiful wife, and kids again. But I love the space station, and it makes it even a little bit tougher because we have such a great crew right now, all 6 of us having such a grand time. It's going to be really tough to shut that hatch and leave.
And for Dr. Barrett, and also for you, Commander Fink, what are your thoughts on the votes to name Node 3 after Stephen Colbert?
Well, I can say that I was in Russia for probably the last couple of months before launch, and didn't really know much about that contest before I came up here. But I'm sure that the right people will make the right decision, and we'll be happy to live in the node, whatever it's called.
Hi, this is Robert Perlman with CollectSpace.com. For Gennady, Mike, and Koichi, we know the station derives its international title from the fact that different parts were built by different countries, and like you exemplify, there are different countries' representatives on board. But with regards to life on board, is it like a home where all the rooms are communal and resources are shared, or is it more like an office building where you share the same roof, but individual rooms and their contents are reserved for those who provided them?
Well, I'm a newcomer here, but what I've observed is that everybody does have a small personal space. That's for your sleeping bag and a little bit other personal effects. But other than that, the rest of this great big station is pretty much communal. We all share the resources, and we all help each other out doing the work. So I would say, with the exception of your small personal space, it's very much a group effort.
And a question for Charles Simeone. Have you found the copies of Faust and The Moon is a Harsh Mistress that you left aboard the station the last time? And how is your experience thus far compared to your first flight?
I'm very embarrassed to say that they haven't looked for them yet, and I really should be. We are just so busy. One of the ideas is that the second time you can accomplish so much more because you come with an experience and you are not just learning, but you can start working day one. And they kept me very busy. I volunteered for a lot of work, and I'm accomplishing that work. And some of this optional thing, it just falls on the wayside.
Gina Sinceri, ABC News for Dr. Barrett again. What did it mean to you to talk to your daughter after docking last week?
Well, I'll have to say right off that I have 2 daughters and 3 sons to go with them. And it was just wonderful to hear their voices up here. I think that they've all sweated along with me during these years of training, and I think they've had a pretty good idea of what it all meant to me before I launched. But seeing me launch, actually, and seeing me come through the docking hatch and meeting people that they also know up here, we've all gotten to know one another and are great friends, I think it was incredibly meaningful for both of us.
Robert Perlman with CollectSpace.com again, this time for Mike. Today's April Fool's. Did your crewmates play any jokes on you, or have you played any jokes on them?
Robert, you understand we run a very serious space station up here. There's no time for such foolishness. No, actually, we played a small trick with the help of our friends in Huntsville. I was supposed to give blood this morning, and Mike was supposed to help me and then take some photos. And we called down that we did it the opposite way, and we would have been loved to see their faces when they actually understood what we meant, because it took them a few seconds, and they called back up to make sure we did it correctly.
And for Mike Barrett, sorry, as you literally wrote or at least edited the book on space medicine, how would you describe your own body's reaction to weightlessness as you've had time to adjust?
Well, it's a great question. I've looked at everything very analytically, and I've kept pretty detailed notes about my own response to launch and coming into weightlessness. But there's a pretty wide box of variability. Everybody's experience is a little bit different. And aside from being totally analytical, I'm really trying to look at the overall human picture and look at how functional I've been able to be. I'd say I'm probably right in the middle of that box, and I've found some things easier than I expected, such as forming the kind of the 3D spatial awareness is not proven to be that difficult, but at the same time that doesn't mean I fly very gracefully as yet. But in general, I'm getting confirmation on that. But in general, adaptation to zero gravity, it follows what we know, and I think it's a great confirmation that what we wrote in our book is more or less right.
Gina Sinceri with ABC News for Commander Fink again. Tell me how ready you think the space station is for six-person crew later this year.
Well, Gina, we're very proud to say, thanks to a lot of hard work through our friends on the ground and 2 space shuttle crews and the crew of Expedition 18, that we're fully ready for six-person crew. All the little things that nagged us in the past couple of weeks, we fixed with the last shuttle flight. We have full power. We're fully configured inside, and even our water processing system is up to full speed. When I hand over the station tomorrow to Mr. Padalka, Gennady, my good friend, I will have a lot of pride in my heart for the work that myself and Yuri and Greg and Sandy and Koichi have done to be ready for the six-person crew. We're fully ready.
Station, this is JSCPAO. That concludes our questions from here at Johnson Space Center. We don't have any questions from KSC today. Please stand by for a voice check from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, PAO.
Station, this is JAXA in Tokyo, Japan. How do you hear me? Okay.
Yoko kikimashita. Uchu desu.
I heard you loud and clear. So we start the questions. I have a question to Dr. Wakata. My name is Nishikawa from Mainichi Shimbun newspaper. Wakata-san, you have flown 2 short missions in the past, but so far, compared to your past 2 flights, have you felt something is different? Have you gotten the impression that something is different this time? If so, please share that experience with us. Well, so far, I've been quite busy, and therefore, at this point in time, in terms of the speed of the work that I've been doing, it's not very different from my past 2 flights, but it's much more spacious inside the space station here. And it's like the Boeing 747, and this spaciousness is something I've never experienced in the past. For Kibo, the JEM, it's very quiet, and the robot arm manipulation, again, is the time in which I've experienced Kibo. And it's a very comfortable space here, and I think that's the most different point. Thank you. I have another question. Well, you've taken your first break. When did you take your break, and what did you do during your off time? Well, on March 15th, the space shuttle was launched, and up at this point in time, actually, I've not taken a day off yet. And instead, every day, together with my crew, I have been briefed and so as to take over from them. And so I've never had a time to take a break, but after the undocking of Soyuz is completed, I might have time to rest. Ono from Sankei Shimbun newspaper, again to Dr. Wakata. 2 questions. Well, Dr. Wakata, the Kibo robot arm, you're manipulating the robotic arm. How is it?